All right, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, El-Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect, the teachers were in our true faith and sincerity. And today, just want to tie this lesson, the reasoning of a nigga. As you can see, our people have chosen Caesar. You know, the so-called white man is their refuge. You know, they're going down to Egypt for help. Despite all these things this man have done, all these atrocious acts, even up to this day this man have done upon us, our people still seem to run to this man for refuge. And ultimately, this is why the only solution for 2/3 of our people is destruction. When you read Isaiah the 6th chapter, the only way when they're gonna get it is when the cities be wasted. You know, this land is totally desolate, man, which is the destruction. That's the only way Jake gonna learn. You know, and this lesson is inspired by this article, which it reads, "From death row to voting booth, Anthony Ray Hinton, wrongly convicted Alabama man, cast ballot." So this nigga was on death row. He was appointed to death, sentenced to death. He was wrongly convicted. But the first thing this nigga do when he get out of jail, he vote. How sick is that, man? The same system that have thrown you under, you to the point of death by being on death row. And your solution, your answer is to run to this man. You gonna exercise your voting. He's just a sick motherfucker, man. And ultimately, this is why our people gotta be destroyed, man. 2/3, you know. And look at this nigga, this sight, man. And I hate when these motherfuckers wear those "I voted" stickers. This shit just, you know. So it says Anthony Ray Hinton spent 30 years on Alabama's death row before his convention was overturned. So this was 30 years in the making. This nigga couldn't wait to vote. Out of all this time, nigga could have cried out about, you know, this wicked ass justice system. This man is he wrongly convicts, you know, some form of repercussions concerning this matter. You know, the big story is this nigga came out to vote, and that's why the Lord gonna kill these niggas, man. And he ain't the only one that's for the so-called white man that's for this system. There's plenty of niggas out here doing the same thing. You know, when Biden got voted in, niggas thought that was the kingdom of heaven, man. But they're gonna see, you know, trusting in death and hell. That's what you're gonna get. This is Hinton was among the Alabamians who cast his ballot in Tuesday's election, according to the Equal Justice Initiative. It says for 30 years, Mr. Hinton was stripped of all his rights while he sat on Alabama's death row for a crime he did commit. This morning, he arrived at the polls and exercised his right to vote, the organization tweeted. So out of all this nigga been in jail 30 years for some shit he ain't do. The very same system that have did this to this man, he's contributing to it. He vote. And that's why, matter of fact, let's just get it. Let's start off in the book of Isaiah, the 1st chapter. Isaiah 1, and I start at 3. It said, "The ox know of his owner, and his ass his master's crib." And the ass is master's crib. So as you can see, these two animals that are considered dumb animals, well, they got more sense than 2/3 of our people. You know, the ox knows his owner, the ass knows his master crib is his area. You know, where his home is at. Our people, it says, but Israel does not know. My people does not consider. So I don't know. They're not considering the powers in heaven and earth, which is our power, Yahweh by Shema Shai. That the land over there, that Palestine, you know, that's our land, Jerusalem. Our people's not considering that. The niggas have made America their bed. You know, they have made the so-called white man their armor. They have made America their career where they abide at. It says, sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, see? And that's what our people is from these different paths, like all these different sins has been stacking up over these different generations. That's why I said they're latent. That's why it says, Isaiah the 30th chapter, they add sin unto sin by putting on these different. Every time they come back, they put on a different covering. Whether it was under the Syrians, the Greeks, the Romans, all the way up to the day you got the Americans. Our people have put on that covering. This is a seed of evildoers in which that nigga Tarson White. And that's why the solution is destruction for niggas. Nigga Tarson, he's making a nation of niggas, a seed of niggas. Well, that's part of them nations of niggas who that seed of evildoers. This nigga got out of jail. The first thing this nigga do is to vote. The first thing he want everybody to know when he got out of jail is he voted. How sick is this man? Matter of fact, continue on. It says, they have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward. And that's how you provoking y'all by falling after these other gods. Falling after Esau, the so-called white man, the God of this world, which have blinded them, that the light of the glorious gospel of Yahweh Shai should shine unto them. So what's contributing to them being blinded and not coming to the obedience of Yahweh Shai is because of what the so-called white man have pitched unto them. Like, out of all these years, you spent 30 years in a joint, man. You know, a nigga, at best, he'll go out and go buy him a big burger or some shit. You know, you see a lot of videos, this Jake get out of prison, nigga go buy him a big cheeseburger or something. You know, this nigga wanted to make a splash by putting it out there. He voted, man. The same system that threw you under. You going? This man is your enemy, but also he's gonna be your savior, your refuge, your relief. It's not gonna work. It says, why should you be stricken anymore? You will revert more and more. Yeah. So our people have gone through all these things. If we look at our history, Israel as a whole, our history is riddled with captivity. You know. Even though to this day, this has been the worst captivity, you know, ever. And, you know, you dealt with buck breaking and these different lynchings and nigger ball and gator bait and all these atrocious things this man have done to us. And the nigga come out even worse, man. A nigga come out even worse. That's why I said you're going to only revolt more and more. This nigga was locked up 30 years. And he came out even more rebellious. He have delved even deeper into Babylon by voting, man. You know, was this just an example? This is just an example of why the Lord's going to overthrow these people, man. That's why they're considered another nation, a generation of vipers and scorpions, you know. Because you can't reason with no viper, no scorpion. You can't sit down and have a talk with a scorpion. Gonna turn and rend you, man. Because if you tell that nigga, man, why you vote, man, then that's that same system that locked you. You know, a nigga come out with an emotional rant. You know, he probably a Christian, most likely, in his modern sense. It says, the whole head is sick and the whole heart faint, see? And that's our people from these self-proclaimed leaders. Because our people, 2/3 of our people, their leaders are rappers and entertainers, some athletes or some shit. That's the leaders of 2/3 of our people, man. And that has trickled down all from the top to all the way to the bottom to just a nigga. Now he quoting Jesus lyrics and he living off of Jesus, man. And what his rhyme and lyrics say. But these women, they fall out the Cardi B and what she promotes. You know, it's no soundness. Matter of fact, it says from the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it. See, and it begins in the mind. Our people are not sound in mind. That's why the nigga went out to vote. First thing he did when he came out of jail was vote. And you have other examples of the no soundness. Like I mentioned, Charleston White. That nigga, he make good points, but he's not all the way there. He's still sick. He make good points here and there. But ultimately, he rejected life when he came against the Israelites. And the nigga, like I said, he talking about he's making a nation of niggas, a seed of niggas that show you he has no soundness in him. As well as these other guys that have a platform, a voice. It says, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores. See? So the state of our people have gotten worse and worse. From you had the watermelon ink nigga, the sucking and jiving nigga, to now you got a nigga with skinny jeans and a dyed hair and a 40 with a purse. It only got, the wounds have gotten worse from slavery. It says they have not been closed, neither bound up, neither nullified with ointment. See, so meaning going to the physician, Yahweh Shai, for the healing. Because number one, you gotta acknowledge that you're sick and injured and hurt. That's why I tell you in the book of St. Luke, the 15th chapter, the publicans and sinners drew near unto him, unto Yahweh Shai. And that's why he went into the different parables. One of them was a prodigal son. But you can see the reasoning of a nigga, man. How sick is that? You just did a 30-year bid of some shit you ain't do, and the first thing you did to make a statement was vote. That's why the Lord is going to destroy 2/3 of our people, man. Matter of fact, Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And, we read these scriptures and it can proceed to be something that's a simple scripture, But as times we get closer and closer to the perfect day, it makes a whole lot more sense. This scripture make a whole lot more sense concerning having the lack of knowledge and discernment will lead to your destruction. It's going to actually lead to your sore destruction. Because if he voting, of course this man most likely, 99% chance, this man's gonna take the sea hill, man. That thing, that carotid. That was just gonna actually lead to your ultimate destruction, man. But it begins in the mind. You've been deteriorated in the mind, falling after the ways of the so-called white man. That's why the scripture talk about declining into her ways. You actually becoming, you being like the base man. The so-called white man ain't just the base man for nothing. That's on all levels, from when he was in that caveman state to even his thought process is all on a low level, And now people have been influenced by that, and we see that they have become a self-destructive nation, such as the nation of Edom, because of the lack of knowledge. This is because thou hast rejected knowledge, I also will reject thee. And we seeing this playing out in its perfection now. Because when our Lord Yahweh Shai came on earth, it tells you that his own received him not. But as many as received him, see, because it was on a select few that was going to believe him. When the Lord was he presented, only the elect receive Yahweh Shai. But 2/3 of our people did. They trusted on oppression and perverseness, which back then was the Romans, now it was just the Americans. But now we seeing that rejection part playing out the Lord rejecting them by the way of them not coming into this sanctuary, by them not coming into this truth, entering into the rest of the Lord, which is by the way of this understanding. It said that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children, meaning, let's say the children, meaning that latter generation. This is that moment where the Lord said he's going to reject them. Because it's playing out its perfection now, because this is the only way to the good gracious to Yahweh Shemashah. It's not going to be you got a couple of turtle doves. No, it was the blood of Yahweh that made that right, but it was only for the elect in this lifetime. And it's cemented by us coming into this understanding. And for those that rejected the Lord, they're being rejected by them not coming into this truth. But you can just see that's the reason of a nigga. He ain't got no understanding. He ain't got no knowledge, no guidance. And that's just, you gotta just see how sick is that you had a fucking 30-year bid on some shit you ain't doing. The first thing you do, nigga, is vote. That's just something that you gotta put down. And ultimately, this man trusting in death and hell, that's ultimately what you're gonna get. We'll wrap it off with that. This is the book of Isaiah 28, verse 18. It reads, and your covenant with death shall be disannulled. See, so you making, matter of fact, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. So you making Esau, the so-called white man, as your refuge, as a safe haven, it's gonna come to no avail. Because ultimately, this man, he know that he have but a short time. He understands judgment on the hill. And you going to this man for a form of safety, and the so-called white man can't even save his damn self. These things that's happening is from on high, man, from Yahweh Shemashah. Ain't nothing is gonna outride the decree of the Lord, man. So it's the time of Esau's judgment, and for those who dwell therein, those who are joined unto him, they're going to be thrust through as well. It says, when the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it. See, so these places are going to be overwhelming, man. You know? These are going to be overwhelming plagues. It's not just one plague. You just it's just the famine. It's going to be the famine, the wild beasts of the field, the money crabs, you know, the darkness that's going to be out throughout the land. You know, the different power outages, you know, the stress and angers upon the planet Earth. And it's not like you can go to the white man, you sign a contract, you sign some papers, and now you safe again. You back in a state where you able to get up in the morning, go to work, and all that shit gonna be done with. It says, for that time that it goeth forth, it shall take you. For morning by morning shall it pass over, by day and by night. And it shall be a vexation only to understand the report. See, so as you can see, the Lord's not gonna let up either, man. And this, you gonna get it then. It says, for the bed is shorter than a man can stretch himself on it, and the covering narrower than he that can wrap himself in it. So it's not gonna be no comfort, man. It's not gonna, you 7 foot tall in a 3 foot bed, and the covers is even shorter than the bed. It's not like you're gonna have any form of protection, any form of comfort, any rest. Why? Because ultimately you trusting in the so-called white man. And the result is death. Hell, you know, you're gonna be brought to a lower state, and ultimately just die. That's gonna be the fate of it, man. But that's the doctrine of a nigga, man. That's his fate. That's his destiny. And you reason like that, the only conclusion you can come to is that the nigga just gonna die, man. Look, the nigga that, just like I said, he did a 30-year bid. The first thing you do is make a statement to vote. You see Charles and White making these profound statements. You have these other rappers and so-called leaders showing you that the only solution for these niggas is destruction. And it's on display by their reasoning. You just gotta put this nigga down. So yeah, I just hope to be edifying, like to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect, the Jesus word, our true faith and sincerity. DTA, abide. Soon, very soon.